Facepalm America. I'm Beowulf Rockland. FacepalmAmerica.com is where you can go to get more information about the show, to listen to past episodes, and to connect with us on social media. You know, I have been following for a while someone on, I don't want to just say Twitter, because it's also Threads. It's also Instagram. Really, she is a burgeoning social media empress, if you will. The head of an empire, a presence, an all-encompassing entity of the internet that you should be aware of, and that is JoJoFromJerz. You can find her online, and you should seek her out, especially if you are progressive of proclivity, as I am, and I think most of you are. If you go to at JoJoFromJerz on Twitter, JoJo.fromJerz on both Instagram and Threads. And that, by the way, that is JERZ, just so that you get all of the spelling correct. And I am lucky enough to do some voice work and some editing for her wonderful podcast, Are You Effing Kidding Me? With JoJoFromJerz. JoJo, welcome to Facepalm America. Thank you so much for gracing Facepalm America's presence. Thank you for gracing Facepalm America with your presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Beowulf. This is so fun, and it's nice to put a face to the voice because, you do the voice, the intro on my podcast, which is I've always been very impressed by your voice. It's like one of those like Casey Kasem kind of things that has like that, like I don't know what the word is, whatever it is, your voice has it, and star quality. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. I when I'm in the mood, I like to think that the gravitas is there, but from other times, if I could make a career of it, and I could just like speak in little helium cartoon voices, that would be totally cool too, and I would absolutely love that also. Yeah,
but that would be cool
if it lends something to your podcast, which is awesome and gets tons of downloads and is really fascinating to listen to. I love it. I love your daily updates because they're little blurbs, very similar to the tweets that you come forward to. And you also do these wonderful interviews. And I got to say, I was often, either myself or a member of my team will edit your interviews. And I was lucky enough to have like a member of my team off, and I was editing the episode where you were talking to Henry Winkler. And I just absolutely love that. If you have not heard that episode, really go out and listen to it. Again, it's Are You Effing Kidding Me? with JoJoFromJerz. It was such a sweet story, and he's just such a wonderful guy. And he was talking with you and your daughter. It was just so sweet.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much to me. I was so proud of that because, first of all, I got to meet face to screen anyway, someone that I idolized as a kid for a million reasons. And I started to go down that sort of rabbit hole, and I figured out a lot of reasons for why. And I wrote about that on my Substack, which is of the same name. But he's kind of a true real life hero. I mean, he is really the Fonz in many ways. It's part of who he is, but it's also very different. But he's an incredible human being, and he's just so generous of spirit, truly, truly generous of spirit. So that interview was really special to me, and I felt like I was talking to an old friend.
It sounded like
which
that.
Is
it really
weird because I don't know him,
Yeah, he's really one of those few people in the media, and I know a few of them, who really is just earnest and genuine and good-hearted and an all-around nice guy. And it came out in his interaction with you and your daughter, and the way that you guys had met each other. It was just a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Really, thank you. And like to plug his book because we're talking about him.
Totally.
His book was such a revelation for me. It was so surprising because I'm not going to spoil anything, but his his start was very dark. Like you
Yeah.
would not associate someone so joyful and grateful for being here and so generous of spirit to have come from a world that was so dark, but he did, and he overcame it. The whole book is about a lot about adversity and overcoming difficulties and challenges, and I just think he's really an inspiration for many reasons. And that book is so good. I highly recommend it. Really,
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. He's. I'm glad he's on this planet with us,
Yeah.
doing
Yes.
doing things and being a
Me
human
too.
being. Yeah.
Yes.
So you are out there, and multiple times a day, you are like just have these wonderful, sharp, funny, incisive comments that that poke at the right and poke at Trump and make really excellent points, and it's an extension of your personality as I hear it on the podcast and what you're saying. I'm wondering how you got started doing that. How did you get involved in social media, and how did you build it into the thing that you've built it into? Because I mean, you're I checked last. I don't think you're quite at 1 million, but you're almost there. By the time we finish this conversation, you may be at 1 million Twitter followers. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But how did you get started?
It's funny because this is going to sound crazy, I'm sure. And I've said it before and people are like, what did you just say? But like a lot of people, I kind of credit, not in the way anyone would, want to credit him for anything, but Donald Trump sort of like saved my life. And that sounds so crazy to say.
I hear you.
But
I hear you.
his awfulness, right? I think it inspired something in so many of us that were like, holy, I have to do something. I have to say something.
Yeah.
And I know that that's true of a lot of people, like I said, but it's definitely true of me. So in 2016, well, I'll just preface this by saying that like leading up to 2016, I was a suburban mom doing suburban mom stuff. I had 2 toddlers. I was busy. I was tired. I was really worn down, and I was feeling kind of lost. Like I'd been untethered from my old spirited self because I went to school and majored in communications, politics, and law. Thought I was going to be a press secretary. Clearly didn't happen. But I did end up standing behind that podium at 49 years old, which is a whole nother story. But so I was just this kind of like lost soul. It was just sad. And like I didn't feel connected to anything other than just being a mom, which is so important to me. Number one thing that matters most. But that's all I was. I was a function of motherhood. And so I had disengaged from politics. And then I'm watching this orange con man coming down the escalator.
Mm-hmm.
I was at the gym. I remember I was on like a stair stepper. I put the audio on and I'm listening. And I'm like, did he just say that Mexico's not sending their best? Did he just call Mexicans rapists? Like, did he just say that? And
so he was coming down the escalator, and you were going up the stair climber.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful metaphor. He's descending
It really
into
is.
the
I never
depths,
thought
and
about
you're
it.
ascending into the heights. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Except I was literally going nowhere, and he was taking an entire country, if not the world, to hell. Yeah. So I thought to myself, oh my God, this is a joke. Like Republicans are going to denounce this at once, obviously. And it, as you know, as we all know, it didn't really happen like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just one step after another of just what? And then by the Access Hollywood tape, I was like, okay, I'm up, I'm awake. You woke me up now. Okay, I'm coming back online. And I was like, I need to stop this person. And then I couldn't. None of us could, clearly. I woke up. So I'll just tell you this real fast story because it's very important to me.
Yeah.
When I took the kids to vote with me, I always do. When I tucked them in at night, I was crying in the parking lot, by the way. I said, I just voted for the first female president ever in our history. I tucked them in that night. I think they were 4 and 7. And I said, my son was very smart at 7. I'm very aware. I said, tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and right will have prevailed. The good guy will have won. And I went off on something about everything being right in the world. Yeah. And then, of course, we know what happened. So when Leo woke up, my son, he found me in the bathroom on the floor, crying my eyes out. I tried to pull it together. And I was, as all of us were, probably a disaster. And all he said to me in that moment, because he knew, was, but you said the good guy would win. You said right would prevail, like in a Marvel movie. You said that. How did this happen? And I didn't have an answer. How do you explain this fundamental thing that you've always told your kids is true about the universe? Like, do the right thing for the right reasons, that the universe will reward you for that. And I couldn't explain to him why that wasn't true, but it wasn't true anymore. And so then I was like, okay, well, now I'm really going to fight because we're going to correct this wrong. And I have not shut up since. I haven't.
Wow. I mean, I love the fact that you brought your kids with you. I love the fact that, in a way, it seems like, because we all say this, we're fighting for our kids, but you had that moment where it really did seem like, I am gonna fight for this because my kid is here and like he's bringing it to me and saying, I thought the good guys were gonna win, and you realize like in that moment like how important and critical it was, because that kind of encapsulates it for the next generation, and looking forward to 2024, that encapsulates the reason why we have to get out there and fight this fight and be engaged. And because there are your kids and there are my kids and there are the kids of everyone across this country who are either going to live in a democracy or in an authoritarian state. And that really is the choice that we're facing. And you felt that super personally in that moment. And here we are again.
Right. Which I will confess, I've gotten a lot of things wrong in my life. I didn't think that the Supreme Court was going to overturn Roe. I didn't. I confess I got that wrong. I believed those fucking liars when they said that it was established law. I believed them, which was foolish on my part. I've learned a lot since then. But I got it wrong on Trump, too. I thought, well, they finally got their opportunity to untether themselves from this pariah. They're going to release him into the wild. He'll disappear.
Go free, Donald! Go free! Born free!
They were gonna unleash him like the pool water at Mar-a-Lago over the video surveillance. Yeah, I really thought so. And I'll tell you what, boy, did I get that one wrong. I got 2016 wrong, and I got Trump coming back for 2024 wrong. I really did. But we are still in this fight. And not only are we in this fight, we've seen the sort of teaser, like a trailer version of what a really unleashed Trumpian, let's not even call it a presidency, because it would be a dictatorship. We know we have all the previews. We don't have to guess.
The 2025 project, that's what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yes. That is some frightening shit.
Right. Yeah. His own police force. Yeah. They're going to go out and make sure that put down all the protests in his name.
Oh my God. Yeah. This really is, even if you're going to be utterly cynical about it, and I get that way sometimes because I see a lot of faults with the Democratic Party. You cannot ignore this. You cannot, you can be as cynical as you want and say, oh, the Democrats, they're going to screw things up too. You cannot ignore the fact that we are staring down the barrel of an autocracy. Bottom line, Trump doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
However, he had not experienced what it was like, and he didn't really have a sense of the levers of power, and he didn't really care about it. Now he cares about getting revenge. And if for that reason alone, he is going to dive into this. And the people around him, one, they're going to be far fewer just Republican general apparatchiks who are just kind of going along for the party line, who in a pinch will say, oh my God, well, this is really fucked up. I'm not going to deal with this. As a few of them did in the course of his first term. There are going to be more just hardcore people out there, hardcore, Gestapo types, who are just going to carry through and who are devotees of a very far right-wing platform. So it's going to be far worse, and we should have no illusions about that whatsoever. And we really need to be aware of that and prepared for it, and spend the next 11 months fighting very, very hard against the possibility of that happen. And I am very gladdened to see that Maine and Colorado have done what I know that Oregon is working on it too. I know
Yeah.
a bunch of other states are working on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that